On Thursday, this past week, a 16-year-old boy was sent out by his mom to go pick up his two younger brothers. His two younger brothers had been at a friend's house. But this young man, 16-year-old young man, his name is Ralph, he got confused by the address. He accidentally rang the doorbell at the wrong house on a nearby street. One street over, he was going to what he thought was the house where his younger twin brothers were staying with a friend. He went by accident to the wrong house on a neighboring street. An 85-year-old white man who lived at that house answered the door, and according to court documents, when the man saw 16-year-old Ralph Yarl on his doorstep, he shot him twice, shot him once in the head, then opened his door and shot him once in the arm. According to prosecutors, Ralph Yarl never entered the man's home. He was shot through the glass of the front door for the first shot. Miraculously, Ralph Yarl survived. He got up and he ran away. He reportedly had to go to 3 different homes before someone agreed to help him. Mr. Yarl has been in the hospital since Thursday night, but he was discharged this afternoon. He's now at his home recovering. His mom is a nurse, and she's been caring for him. Tonight, Monday night, 4 days after the shooting took place, the county prosecutor announced that the man who shot Ralph Yarl will be charged in the shooting. He'll be charged with 2 felony counts, including first-degree assault. When the prosecutor announced the charges, he said there was, quote, a racial component to the case. Joining us now is the mayor of Kansas City, Missouri, Quinton Lucas. Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for being here. I know this is a difficult time for your city.
It's good to be with you.
First, let me just ask you if I explained that in a way which is in keeping with your understanding of these events, if I got anything wrong, or if there's anything important that I left out here.
You know, I've read the probable cause charging statement, and probably just the most heinous part is that the gentleman who shot, I shouldn't say gentleman, just the criminal, the defendant, an 85-year-old man, shot because he claimed he was scared of this black teenager. And I say a black teenage boy, not because of an insult, more because of the fact that this is a kid. This is a kid who's sent out by his mother to pick up his younger brothers, the sort of thing that should be normal and routine, and indeed is. And in our community, tragically last week, it was something that could have taken this boy's life.
This young man is accomplished. He's a musician. The superintendent of North Kansas City Schools today said he's an excellent student, maintains a stellar GPA while taking college-level courses. Lots of people going on about his talent as a musician, his affiliation with the Metropolitan Youth Orchestra and the marching band. Can you tell us anything about his condition and how he and his family are doing?
I talked to his mother today. She is a strong woman. I could tell during our time just visiting. The last several days, I know, have been overwhelming for them. So many people who have reached out, so many people in support, but also a number of questions. Questions about why. Why delay in charges? I know that's a question that's come up. Why and how can something like this happen? And the neighborhood in Kansas City, which is predominantly white, this question that I know many black parents face, and black people generally. They move there because of good schools, because of good opportunities. But what do you lose in exchange? Do you lose your humanity in exchange just from existing while black in certain areas? What we need to work on in Kansas City, and I would say nationwide after this, is how do we make sure that we get, first of all, that it's clear that this is not right, that this is not something that's accepted. And this fear of black youth, of black people, you talked about it through the entire show, is something that we need to confront, that we need to call out, that we need to address. And we need to not have the narrative just be state legislatures that are against diversity training, including in my own state, but instead, frankly, people recognizing the bias that lives within so many of them, so we don't see things like this happening again and again.
One of the things that I've seen discussed in the wake of this shooting is the so-called Stand Your Ground law, which Missouri's had for a number of years now, since I believe it's 2016. Is there any sense in which that Stand Your Ground law is implicated here. Obviously, this is a gun crime. If this is in fact being prosecuted as a crime, this is a shooting that existed, was only able to exist because of the gun owner's possession of this weapon. But the way you are allowed to use your weapon is governed in Missouri according to a law that's designed effectively to prevent home invasion. Is something like that going to be implicated here in terms of this young man just having rung the doorbell, posing no threat to this family or this home? But nevertheless, those sorts of laws are seen in other places as having muddied the waters around encounters like this that end in shootings.
We have seen the gun lobby change what is core common sense. I said this earlier, but I'll repeat it again. If this is the sort of thing where stand your ground can be enforced, then every U.S. postal worker, every Amazon delivery person, every pizza delivery person, every Girl Scout volunteer, anybody knocking on your door now becomes somebody who's subject to be shot. And I think particularly, and I say this as not just a mayor, not just a person in this community, but as a black man and a black father, to recognize the additional risk that people of color, that black people disproportionately will face because of defenses like this, it concerns me greatly. So I do hope that this is a case where there is a conviction. But more than that, I hope and I pray, I don't know if it'll happen, but that some of these legislatures that have tried to basically allow guns to be everywhere and used in any circumstance and any situation finally say, you know what, this is a kid. This is a good kid who did not deserve this. And what their fetishization of gun laws has done, this expansion of gun rights and protections, so people are using them outside their cars, outside their homes, now standing inside his home because this guy, I think, was frankly just scared of a black person at his door. This needs to be pushed back against so we actually have responsible common sense laws that aren't threatening the lives of our sons and daughters in our community.